and welcome to Tarot Delights. I'm Rhonda Gilbert, or Lady Rose of Goddess Garage, and you are?
I'm Kayla from Wayward Spirit.
There you go. So, we are at our usual spot.
Get cozy.
Yes, exactly. And we're here. We're going to talk about, as the title sort of suggested, the Fool's history.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes. So the Fool has had a little bit of history. So, but going back to, I think, about the 1400s, 15th century. So anytime you say century, it's a number ahead of what it actually is, right?
Okay.
So we're in the 21st century right now. That's why we say 2025. See? See how that pattern works? Because people often get centuries confused. Like if they hear 15th century, they think 1500s.
Yeah.
And it's not 1500s, it's 1400s. Because we had
No, that would make sense because you had to get from 0 to 99.
before it became the first century. Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
So, so the 1500 or the 15th century or the 1400s, playing cards first came out. And the playing cards you will recognize as, well, you know the playing cards, but you'll recognize it in tarot. It's the minor arcana is the playing cards.
Yep.
And when playing cards first came into Europe, there was a lot of competition as to which system they would follow, because there was a Spanish system, there was a French system, there was an Italian system, there was a German system, and that's where a lot of the different suits come from. Because if you look at a Germanic playing card deck from back then, you'll see things like acorns, which are now spades, which are...
Oh, that makes sense. I could see that.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain the suits to one of the kiddos the other day because he was like, let's play cards. And I'm like, okay, what are we playing, buddy? And he's like, went off on a tangent about a game. And I'm like, okay. So this means this? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay. Throw everything I know about cards out the window.
Yeah, exactly. So nowadays in the modern tarot decks, there's only one Fool. But you'll notice in the playing card deck, there's still two jokers.
Jokers. Yes,
Yes.
that's right.
So historically speaking, there was always two Fools. There was the unenlightened Fool, which represents us, because none of us are at full enlightenment. Because you wouldn't be here if you are.
Yeah.
You'd be off with the gods and goddesses.
Because we were enlightened, so we are on par with them.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was the enlightened Fool, who had done all the life lessons, right? And that's where the major arcana comes in, because they represent the symbolic life lessons we're supposed to learn. And the reason we started this discussion is because you have the Rider-Waite Tarot Ultimate Guide to the Rider-Waite Smith.
Which, I mean, is interesting because it goes through all the cards and has like everything on the card and their little like meanings and symbologies. But what if you find what's interesting, and I'll try and, the Fool is 0/22.
Right.
So I was flipping through this trying to figure out if we were going to do a regular podcast tonight, what card we'd be on, because I can never remember. And then I was like, why is the Fool at the back? And then you were like, fun fact. Let's just do a podcast on this.
Exactly. So, well, we're a little short on time anyway, so it'll be an easy lesson for everyone. So there were originally two jokers in the original playing card decks. And like I said, one represented the us, the Fool that's not enlightened, and then the one that had gone through all the lessons and is the Fool that's enlightened. And that the playing card deck never lost that. Just the modern tarot deck reduced it down to one Fool, and he represents both. So
I wonder who made that decision. Was it
Waite? Probably, because Rider-Waite. Rider, I think, was the money. Waite was the sort of the ideas man, and then Smith was the artist.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of cards now put into the Rider-Waite Smith deck, as it should be called.
Yep.
About Pamela Smith.
Short form referred to as the RWS.
Yes, RWS, right, exactly. But the playing card deck that won out, that we play Old Maid and poker and stuff with, is the French system.
Oh, I wonder. Oh, yeah, because I remember you saying that a couple of them battled it out for a while.
They did. So the French won that one.
It's probably bad. No, I shouldn't go there. That was yeah.
And yeah, the trumps were kind of added later
Okay.
and then became tarot. It wasn't much later, but they, for whatever reason, of course, man always finds a way to gamble,
Yes.
game about things, right?
I feel like that's an inherent trait that's been there since the beginning.
I think so too. Yeah, we play, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, I don't think there was a lot of Trump included in the gambling portion of it because it was mostly just the major or minor
cards. Yeah, it wasn't until later that the majors came into play. And then
And even then, they weren't really gambled with or played
no, and referencing tarot, so like your Jack, Queen, King, Ace is your Ace, Page, Knight, Queen, King.
with. Yeah, you're missing, I guess, a knight because the jacks are they more like knights or are they more like pages? Maybe they're more like knights actually. So we're missing pages.
So they scrapped the pages.
They scrapped the pages. We
They
didn't need
kept-
the messengers, I guess.
I mean, I feel like that was a bad idea on their part because I
Yeah.
feel like we always need messengers,
Right?
Or like people who are willing to deliver messages that are called messengers. I
Yeah.
feel like that was not very well thought.
I could be wrong. Maybe jacks are more pages. I'd have to look that up.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Because I think jacks are a slang for a particular type.
Okay.
But I can't remember, like either a knight or a slang for a page or whatever. But I can't remember which is which. If you know, historically speaking,
Throw it down in the comments.
throw it in the comments. Yes.
My husband's the history guy, not me.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. I'm sure it's in one of my books somewhere, but don't know off the top of my head. I lean more towards knights.
Well, that would make sense. They have swords, don't they? Or is that just the kings?
Yeah, and also too, like jacks are kind of like, I think they're also slang for, slick guys and
Yes.
the one-eyed jacks, right, are
Yeah.
often wild.
The page doesn't strike me as a slick person.
Yeah, and
They
jacks are
strike me
kind
as
of
more of a
like they're
younger person.
flirtatious and
Yeah.
courtiers of the court, and they know how to woo the ladies, so to speak.
Ooh.
So I think they probably kept the knights because the knights, let's face it, are cooler than the pages. But who doesn't need messages? How do you flirt without messages?
That's so true.
Right?
Oh
Who's
my
gonna
goodness.
pass the notes?
Can you imagine? There's no pages. How do we pass notes? Well, the wizards did owls, so.
Yeah, that's true. Apparently, rats are supposed to be pretty good familiars too because they're very smart.
Oh, yes, and they're very sneaky.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, cats are the traditional.
What about
familiar.
owls?
Yeah, yeah. Owls were known to be familiars. Crows too.
Yep, crows.
Yeah, those are
I've
the
seen
big
that a
ones,
lot.
right? Of course, never cross a woman who has a dragon or a wolf as their familiar.
Watch you do it, and then you're like, oh crap, I just found out. Oops.
Oops. That's like when people come in the store here and have sticky fingers. Not many do, but
You've had like one or two, though.
one or two. There's always going to be some who are going to try. And everyone's always like, why would you steal from a witch?
Why would you steal period
Why would you steal, period? But especially
from a witch?
from a witch.
Well, it's like people who,
Because people who have stolen from me, I know exactly who stole from me. So I know exactly where to put that energy.
you're like, and watch it. I find it interesting too, like, sucks that it happened.
Yeah.
But I've also watched or been at work. I haven't watched people steal because obviously I wouldn't have kept quiet
Right.
about that because my goodness. But like, I remember being at work when someone was accused, and I knew nothing about it, so I was like,
Right.
don't ask me, I don't know. But that person did not last long. But it's
Right.
like, why would you bite the hand that feeds you?
Yeah, right?
Like-
exactly.
I've never understood that.
That's different from stealing pens from work. I mean,
Oh, see, that's where you got to be careful because I'm a good pen snob, and I will steal pens, but I forewarn people, and I bring my own good pens, so that if I accidentally, like for example, the other day, I think a good pen got left behind, and I'm like, I know this belongs to somebody, but I don't know who, because I wasn't sure which one of my
so I will
coworkers.
hold it
Yeah,
for them.
basically, I held it for them, and I was like, "Is this yours?" She's like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Okay, good."
You did actually find the owner.
Yeah, I did because normally I do hold and it eventually makes its way home. But I was like pretty sure this person's gonna want their pen back because we're both pen snobs.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I can honor that.
If you have a fellow pen snob, you know who to ask first.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, the Fool's an interesting card because it's the only numberless card in tarot.
Yes and no, because according to this, the like whatever
It's 22, the master
the
number.
yeah, the 22. So it's like, and like you said, there used to be two fools, the unenlightened and the enlightened. So I think they just, instead of having two, mind our WS clone, a little bit more fairy tale version. So you'd have one at either end of the major arcana, which is that journey. So you go from one to the other, and then they just kind of was like, well, this one can handle both.
I guess.
Like, I don't know. We weren't there when this decision got made.
Yeah, because normally, the suits in playing cards are either red or black, right? So the red, the black joker, because there's red and black jokers. The black one is the unenlightened one, and the red one is the enlightened one, because, of course, as I've said repeatedly on these kind of shows, whatever it is we're doing, podcasts, that red is the color of knowledge.
Okay, so if you have that, so you have two black jokers and two red jokers. So you've got spades and clubs.
Yeah, but you would only have two jokers. One's black and one's
Oh,
red.
joker, yes. Sorry, I was thinking jacks.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Jokers, sorry. If I said jacks, I meant jokers. So, yeah, you would have one black joker and one red joker.
Now we're going to be extra careful what we say.
Yeah, exactly. And one is the enlightened one, which is the red one, because that's in the occult world, that is the color of knowledge. And you'll notice that in a lot of tarot decks that people are wearing red belts, red cloaks, red something is on them. And the Fool in the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck,
The magician in the RWS deck usually has a red cloak on.
yeah, and the Fool has the potential. He's got a white rose, which is the color of innocence, which is what he is. He is an innocent, basically. And there he is, white rose. And the white rose also represents the goddess energy. And then he's got a red feather in his cap.
Oh.
So it's the potential of the knowledge that he wants to gain.
Oh, so this one doesn't have a red anything.
No red anything?
No, well, I mean, there's patches on his pants that could be considered red,
No, that's
but not even close. What
but
I
he's
find,
got the white rose.
but he's got the white rose. What I find interesting, and then this is more because of the fairy tale lean, I think, is the one I have freshly acquired, the Fairy Tale Tarot by Lisa Hunt. It's a second printing. The Innocence card is the Fool in that deck, and she has a red rose.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's a Little Red Riding Hood. With,
She has a red rose?
yeah, she has a red rose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because roses are the queen of the flowers, so they often represent goddess energy. And red, of course, means lust and passion.
I'm
in
loving
the rose world, or love. True love. Like pink is true love, but red
Yeah.
is love.
Sorry, I'm just getting distracted by all the things I'm seeing in the trees now because there's different faces and
Oh,
patterns and stuff in the trees. So we're gonna do a separate deck review on that one because I'm gonna be quiet and let her talk about Fool.
So this is the Fool, just another version of the Fool in my gilded deck here. So he's got a lot of color on him.
But notice his hands are red.
His hands are red, and like these are tinged like in the red family for sure. And then the knowledge that he has. This is supposedly what's in the hobo pack, right? The knowledge. So he's got the zodiac signs.
Oh yes, okay.
So when you have all the zodiac signs, it's sort of a sign that you have all the knowledge of the universe, right? And that's how he starts out with, like, that's all how we all start out as children, ready to absorb whatever knowledge is given to us. Careful what you feed your child,
It's true.
because they will learn. And if they're a Virgo, they will learn it exactly as you taught it, and it will never be changed. Virgos are notorious for that.
Okay.
I contribute my Virgo rising to my somewhat Idenic memory.
Fair. That
Because-
would make sense. 'Cause
And when I'm introduced to someone under a different name, like whatever name they're introduced to me as, that's the name I call them all the time.
Yep.
If they change it, I can't go with it. And it's not because I'm, anti-changing names. It's just I learned your name as Ken as opposed to, Kenneth or whatever, right? So you'll always be Ken to me.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Takes me forever because I've had a couple of friends change their names. And
Well, I mean, I can see it like between unions and changes, and people are not the same person.
well, even my sister, when she first emailed me with her new married name, I'm like, who the fuck is this? It's my own sister.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Nope, don't recognize you. You've changed your name. Whole new face.
I don't know who you are anymore.
30 some odd years down the toilet.
Yeah. Exactly.
If not more.
Exactly. Even now, I'm sometimes, who is this? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we rarely call each other. We usually text. So.
Yeah, that seems to be the way, right? Like I'm actually easier to get a hold of if you text me,
Yeah, me too.
which previous generations like, no, call me, and I'm like, no.
No. And even today when I was watching my court shows, as I do, the judge was talking about, like, they said, oh, well, yeah, she did this or she said that or whatever. And she said, well, do you have proof of it? And she said, well, we just had the phone call. So she had some proof in text.
But not foolproof because they had the phone conversation. And that is true, how easy it is to make those verbal deals and then they don't stick because you can't, unless you're recording them, you can't trace.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you said on the phone.
Exactly. That's why she said do a follow-up email or text with as per our conversation.
Yep.
Because, yeah, say it, regret it, write it. Say it, forget it, write it, regret it.
Yep.
That's if you don't want to have, like, them to have proof. Then just say it. Just don't write it out. Don't acknowledge it.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me, there was a concert announcement today at the venue that I work for. And it's free and clear, like we don't get to hear anything before it's announced. So it got announced this morning. And one of my coworkers already booked the night off. My boss was like, vague family event, eh?
Big family event.
So we'll see if I actually see my one
What'd be even
coworker.
funnier is if you texted in saying, I need the day off because there's going to be a family emergency that day.
And then meanwhile, you're like at the arena. No,
It's like, how can you predict a family emergency? Oh, I just know.
I just know on this date, 3 months from now.
Exactly. I will have a family emergency. Trust me.
Well, I found it interesting. So Josh's family has gone through some like rough patches, and my grandfather recently had hip surgery. And we were like, okay, like things are going okay. And then Josh's mom turned around and broke her hip.
Oh, no. Oh, my.
Like, I'm waiting for the third shoe to drop.
Yeah, right, right. Well, you know, I've had a lot of family members in the hospital lately. I've practically taken out parking spots for monthly fees.
Monthly fees, you might as well.
Exactly.
Probably be cheaper.
Exactly. But yeah, like I had a girl that used to work for me. And if she didn't have the Molson flu on Friday, there was a family member's funeral that happened. Her grandmother, I think, died about 6 times.
Ooh. I didn't know someone could have 6. I mean, I had 3 grandmothers.
Yeah,
so I get it.
Sometimes people have more than 2.
Yeah. But 6?
Yeah, she was getting up there. I was like, how many grandmothers do you have? Or she'd say, well, she was like a grandmother. Okay, well, like a grandmother and a grandmother, 2 different things.
Yep.
And, you know, it's like, why are you taking the day off work? You know, so eventually she didn't work for me anymore.
No, like
Too much of the Molson flu, too.
I just, like, I feel bad because, like, I juggle a couple of things. So sometimes I, like, say, oh, I'm not available at this job because I'm over here working this job. And I'm very transparent about it. Like, I'm like, at my other job.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's usually okay because it's hockey. And
Right.
they're like, yeah, hockey's pretty easy to cover. If it's, like, a red-listed event, which is like, your butt is here unless you're dying,
Right.
I would never do that to them. Like,
Right,
I've got a
right.
couple events coming up in April that are red listed, and I'm like, okay, sleep is going to be scarce that week. But it's all good. It doesn't happen very often, so.
Oh, that's good. At least it doesn't happen too often. Well, I guess that's all we got for the Fool.
Yeah,
for now.
we got the Fool, and then whether you want to put it at the beginning for 0, and oh hey Robin,
Hi, Robin.
how are you?
I'm so glad you could join in. We're actually almost wrapping it up. I noticed you wrote, this is your writing on here, isn't
Yes. So I
it?
bought
Risk and Trust.
a mass market copy of this deck because I couldn't bother to mark up my indie copy. But I'm reading, what is it called? Unlocking the Keys to Tarot by
okay.
Lisa Pepez. So she runs through like how she's worked out this tarot system for herself, and part of it is writing keywords on the cards.
Oh, okay.
So my 2 keywords for the Fool are take the risk and trust.
The process.
Trust the process.
Yeah. And trust the universe.
Yeah, trust the universe that the universe has your back.
Yeah. Because it does. It's us that are the idiots.
Yes, very much so. You know how many times I've been like, no, I can't trust it. And now that I'm starting to trust it, I'm like, oh, why wasn't I doing this before?
Yeah, I know. It always seems to work out. It's just you panic right up to the moment. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I should have trusted this all along
Yep.
because it did happen the way it was supposed to.
Exactly.
And sometimes, like I was saying on the weekend, sometimes it works out even better.
Yep, this or something greater.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We are going to go do a moon circle now, a dark moon circle.
So much
it's
fun.
advanced crone magic. And if you want to see any of our events, please go to our Goddess Garage group on Facebook. That's where all of our events are always listed. You just go under the little tabs and click events. I'm glad I don't have to over explain that to people anymore. I used to have to take screenshots and circle the tab events because I'd say go to the tabs and go to events, and people would be like, what? Where do you want me to go?
Well, I mean, I get it because what did I had to do, I was talking to somebody about screenshots today. Like, how do you do a screenshot? And I was like, I'm just going to have to make a 3-step, like, do this first, then do this.
Yeah.
Then save under photos.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. How do you do a screenshot? Oh my goodness.
I mean, if you sat down and wanted me to work Snapchat, I'd probably need a lesson.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
I don't use Snapchat.
I don't use Snapchat either.
But I mean, for all of the
I'm
like-
into a lot of the things kids, but not that.
Yep.
There's only so much that Nana can keep up with. I still can't take any one of my new phone. Oh no.
That's okay. It's once you figure it out, it'll sound easy. Like, how could I not do it?
Yeah, exactly.
But the learning curve when you get a new phone,
Yeah.
I feel that. That's
Yeah.
why I don't. Well, so my husband's Android and I'm Apple, and I refuse to.
Yeah, well, I switched back to Android on Google phones right now, and I had to relearn how to do the screenshot, but I knew the principles behind it.
That's good.
So,
At
you
least
know, it's
the
like
knowledge is still there.
like with Apple, you're clicking 2 buttons, one on each side.
Yep.
With Google, you have to click 2 buttons on the same side,
oh, that's interesting.
which is kind of a pain in the ass. But they do let you go in and edit it right away. They're like, would you like to use these editing tools? I'm like, yes, I would. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. I find it interesting. So when I work in the schools and some kids have, it's called an AAC, it's an augmentative communication device. Or they have iPads where they do like educational learning. Depending on if you like brick that, the way to reset them changes depending on what version you have.
Oh.
I learned that last year and I was like, pardon?
Yeah.
Pardon? So you can't just go home button, power button, and then until you see this, it
Yeah.
actually changes like what buttons you press and for how long.
Oh my God. Why? Why can't we just have universal, here's what you do?
Yep.
You know, control, delete.
Well, we haven't been able to do universal anything because like you would think printers.
Yes, printers. Oh, don't even get me started on printers.
Okay, so this is turning into another Delights episode. We probably should go.
Yeah.
But we should do a rant episode about things that should not exist but do.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
And
like I
we'll-
said, you got to join us on the anything, everything, and nothing at all.
Oh my goodness, maybe in the summer.
Yeah, in the summer we'll come up with some, like write down your ideas and
Okay.
then we'll do them.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be fun.
It will be fun.
All right. Well, have a good night. Have a good weekend or
Week.
It's just the beginning.
I was gonna say she hasn't figured out that it's Monday yet, has she?
No, I have not.
We had a great weekend. That's what you just want to live longer into the weekend.
That's true. It was a fun weekend. So yeah, I can't complain at all. And good food, good conversation, all
people,
the rest
yep,
of it. Yeah,
100%.
exactly. All right. So yeah, check us out for our events on Goddess Garage. Thank you, and look for our next tea party because they're always so much fun.
Yes, do come.
Yes.
They're great food. Interesting surprises because like some of the tarot readings, I was like, ooh, tarot's not holding back. Never does.
No, but she was a bit of a mermaid this weekend. Mermaids can kind of be bitches. Let's just put it that way. But she's a bitch on your side, so.
Because I know I have like visions of the mermaids from Peter Pan because they were definitely bitchy.
Yeah, exactly. But they're always truthful.
Very true. Very true.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.